So how pleasing is it to get Jager back?
Yeah, listen, he's done a really strong block of training, and was put through his paces last week in the game at Windy Hill in the VFL, and did really well. Recovered really well from that. He's had a 7-day break, so we feel like he's ready to play some footy. I think it's valuable for him, valuable for us, probably valuable for the footy community that they can see him out there playing a couple of games, hopefully before the end of the year.
Is it sooner than what you thought?
No, it's actually a little bit further than what we thought, because he had a bone stress injury that we needed to just take our time with, and so we've been really, really conservative with making sure we get that right. He's done a really good, strong block of training. He's been training in the skills program with the main group for a good part of 6 weeks, so part of his return was to give consideration whether he'd come straight back in based on his training block, but we just thought for him and us it was better that he had a run around at Box Hill. We gave consideration to giving him one more, but he recovered so well from that game that we think that it's valuable rather than just coming for one game, which would be the last game of the year next year, probably for us, that he gets a couple of goes at it.
Does the fact that you're still a sneaky chance for finals have any impact in playing this week?
No.
From the outside, I guess, given that you have 2 games left, there's an element of risk involved, but clearly you think that the positives for yourself, I guess, mentally and for the club outweigh those?
I think there's been that much hysteria created around Jager for the whole of the year that I think it's good for him and for us and for the football community to actually see him out there playing and say, righto, we think he's actually right to go and he might be all right from here on, because that's our view within the club. But we can't control that hysteria outside of the club, so it's probably pretty important if he's right to go. We don't want to put him out there just for the sake of it, but we think it's valuable for everyone to have a look at him and say, yep, we think he's right to go. And then that can ease off over the summer, you'd hope, and we can just go into next year with a little bit of blue sky in regard to the Jager O'Meara stories.
How is his mental state after getting back and pulling out well?
Fantastic. He's looking forward to it, jumping out of his skin. And we're looking forward to him playing. So, have we got another question other than Jager O'Meara?
Paul Bjorklo, been a decent stint out for him as well. Probably an important player to you that's maybe hasn't been spoken about that much, but that you would have missed.
Yeah. With he and Rioli out for a big part of the year, that's affected the way that we've structured up in our front end. That's given some opportunities to some other players. Jure and Langford have played important roles for us at different stages in that part of the ground, but Poppy's been a really valuable part of our side for a long, long period of time. So it was just a matter of him, just like Jager, going through his rehab, getting himself some match conditioning last week at Box Hill, and once again getting an opportunity for the last couple of games of the year just to convince himself that he can get back and play at that level, and then go into the summer with a little bit of a break and then get himself ready for next year.
Just on Taylor, shades of Campbell Brown back in 08, successfully bringing his defensive nous down forward. He's got his 100th this year. Might just ask you to reflect a little bit on the 7 odd years he's had at the club.
Yeah, he's been a really valuable contributor for us. We call him the Doctor. He's played some really good footy in some important roles, and he's been a really flexible player. We've played him forward, back and midfield, mainly back over the duration of his career. But he had a tough start, like a lot of young players, just finding their way and learning about their body and how it can cope with the demands of AFL footy week in, week out. And so it took him a while to build that resilience. He was a little bit injury prone in his first 2 or 3 years at the club, but since he's been able to overcome those challenges, he's played some really good footy for us. So it's a feather in his cap that he plays his 100th game. He's still got plenty more for us as well.
What a good lose there. Seems to have come out of the season, but proved really hard to score against at times this year.
Yeah, well, the only thing that hasn't gone their way really in the last 6 or 7 weeks is the W next to their name. They've still played some pretty good footy, but just haven't been able to get across the line. It's not like they've fallen away in terms of getting beaten by significant margins. I think the Cats game 2 or 3 weeks ago was a margin that was a little bit greater than that would have liked, but outside of that, they've been really competitive, and they've despite losing a couple less games to this point in the season, they've won more quarters. They've been more competitive. they've given some opportunities to some younger players. So they're certainly on the right track. So we got to respect that. We know that they're really competitive side. They defend really strongly, and they're pretty dour contest. So we're expecting that. But it is at Etihad Stadium. It won't be affected by conditions, so to speak. So we'd be hopeful that there's an opportunity to be able to score for both sides. And we're always a side that likes to try and kick 100 points ourselves and restrict the opposition to less than that. So we'll just see how that goes. But at least Etihad Stadium gives you a chance to do that. We haven't played there for 14 months, so a bit foreign to us that we didn't even play a NEB Cup game this year at Etihad. So we're looking forward to getting back there and playing on a dry deck. We've played at some pretty struggling conditions through July, August.
Do you have to change up any of your training to accommodate to being back at Etihad?
Outside putting a roof on this joint? No, we haven't.
That sneaky little mathematical chance of finals is a motivator for your players in any way?
Things fizzed it for us a little bit when we lost to the Tigers a couple of weeks ago, but we haven't had a focus on finals since we got to Zip 4, really. And we're probably then started to really channel our energies in towards the next time we could win a piece of silverware. So all our energies went into that, and that was some of that was implicated by the injuries we had to some of our senior players, and that gave opportunities to our younger players. But we made a decision after round 4 that we're going to really pump some games into some young players and get ourselves ready for our next serious challenge. And we could mix ourselves around in the bottom part of the 8, but we're not going to significantly challenge. If we happen to mysteriously get there in the next couple of weeks, fantastic. But our goal all along has been building a process and a group of personnel, and that both on the field and off the field, that can help us with our next piece of silverware. And that's been our heavy focus for the last 12 weeks, and that's not going to change for the last 2 weeks.
Is there a chance Cyril or Frawley could play in the seniors again, and if not, will they feature for Box Hill at any stage? No,
they've been declared out. Their rehabs were a little bit different because they one was a PCL injury to Cyril, and he's nearly right to go, but to come back for one game, the PCL has implications for hamstrings because it is all connected in that part of the leg. So we just couldn't take the risk with Cyril, given his history in that other area. So and with Frawley, he's right to go doing all the training as well. But to bring him back for one game and push out one of our young fellas that have been doing pretty well, it was just pointless, really. So we'll just get him right for the summer.
You've had a pretty good winning streak against the Blues.
Sorry, what was that?
You've had a pretty good winning streak against the Blues against the last 14. Does that give you a bit of confidence heading into this weekend?
No, not really. We haven't played Carlton for a long period of time. This is the first time we've played them for the year, and it's the second and last round of the year. So their side's changed a lot. They've got a lot of new players in their side, and a lot of those sides are rising stars, nominees, good young players that are going to be great players for their footy club in the years to come. So their side's changed enormously. So we haven't even looked at the last time we played Carlton, let alone 10 years ago. We just pay respect to what it is right there. We watch a lot of their footy over the last 4 weeks, and all their trends and patterns we try to determine over that period of time rather than the last 12 months or a couple of years. Yeah. No worries, guys. Thank you.